All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dow. Well, I'm going to explain it. Genesis 2:24. You know, a lot of people mess up Genesis 2:24. And the reason why they mess up Genesis 2:24 is because you have a bunch of ignorant preachers out there, ignorant people who do not apply the proper methods and modes of interpretation. And of course, you know, in Genesis 2:24, it says that the man must be the husband of one wife. Does it say that really? I think what you need to do is go back and read it again. What it does say is that Yahweh brought Adam to Eve, and then them two cleave. That's what happens, and they end up becoming one flesh. That's what it says. All right? But that one is not the same word that we use one in the English language. The word one has many different meanings. For instance, in Hebrew, the word one is echad. But however, when you get over to the Renewed Covenant or New Testament, the word one could be mia or it could be hes. And if Paul had wanted to translate the word one, meaning singular, he would have used the word hes in 1 Timothy 3:2. But he didn't do that. He used the word mia instead, meaning first. If Christ wanted the same meaning in Matthew 19 and in Matthew 5, he would have used the word hes instead of the word mia, or the translators would have used the word hes instead of the word mia. You see, the problem we have in our society today is that people do not study. That's what has to happen when you're dealing with the word. And people have to learn how to look behind the words that are presented to them in English, because what you see translated in the English does not necessarily mean that that's what the original says. That's why you have to become a student also. So people said that was the original plan. You have to go back to the beginning. Okay, if we go back to the beginning, guess what? There was no Torah. So what do? If we're going back to the beginning, only when it suits us, when we start talking about the subject of marriage, because we want to believe our Western, Greco-Roman, European mindsets and perspectives, then there was no Torah. Are we to view Genesis 2:24 in light of the Torah, especially when there was no law then given? Also, Genesis 2:24, we were running around in our birthday suits naked. So if we're going to return and we use the same logical fallacies that a lot of these so-called theologians use, and these false pseudo ministers and so-called pastors, rayas and preachers, then we all need to go back to our birthday suits, and we all need to go in society, and we need to actually run around butt naked, both male and female. See, that is how you properly interpret things if you're going to follow that order. Also, Genesis 2:24 was actually given to us before sin entered into the world. You understand that? That means sin has not even become placed into the world. It wasn't even there. So are we to assume that if we're following the Genesis 2:24 model right now, that we need no instructions, we need no rules, we need no guidelines? Because after all, that's what Genesis 2:24 was there for. It was there to instruct us, wasn't it? To rule us, and we don't need the Torah. We don't need any instructions, because if we go back to the beginning, Genesis 2:24, we're talking about a world before the fall of man. Well, guess what? After the fall of man comes in, guess what? Now we have laws. We have to have laws to regulate our sinful nature, because prior to Genesis 2:24, there was no sin on this earth until Adam and Hawa, commonly called Adam and Eve, decided they was going to go and step out from under the Most High and bite of the fruit, which you think is an apple. It's just utterly amazing what is happening. So if we follow the logical fallacies of a lot of these pseudo liars today, that wants us to always take everything back to the beginning, well, sorry, the law has already regulated our behavior, because we are now fallen man, and we have to have rules, we have to have guidelines, and we must have regulations. That's just all there's to it. Glory to the King. Hope it says something to stimulate your thought. Shalom.